Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Learning from Our Mistakes podcast.
Yeah, happy to have you here. Thanks for listening.
Yes. All right. Well, we'll just dive right into some of these questions. This week we're talking about um that things that we were just wrong about or had different perceptions about. And so um for you, we'll be talking probably about your earlier 20s, and for me more like my teenage years. But what's something that you strongly believed at 20, or for me, my as a teenager, that you don't necessarily believe now?
So I used to believe in the moon landing, and now I don't. No. I mean, I joke around about that. Like there's parts of it you're like, I don't know, did we really land on the moon? I mean, and if you think I'm totally wacko right now, I probably am, and that's okay. But there's enough stuff
Yeah.
sometimes that you're like, how did they get a rover? And how? Anyway, I'm not a moon
Yeah.
landing doubter, but I am a questioner about it.
Yeah.
Um, but that's probably not the direction we wanted to go. Um, so in my 20s, one of the things that literally dominated my life was sports and the consumption of sports. Um, and like I would play basketball 3 to 4 times a week. I would work out, but then like my day would start and end with Sports Center, right? And so it's like, yeah, I just saw these highlights last night, but there could have been some more, or they could change the story, so I need to watch it in the morning. So like literally like 10 o'clock Sports Center and like 6 a.m. Sports Center is kind of like that was a must. When Renee and I were first married, like we didn't live together or anything like that beforehand, and actually we dated long distance through most of our dating life, and so a lot of times like, we'd be talking on the phone, and she would have no idea that like as we're talking on the phone, there's a multitude of games or video games being played in that
In
time.
the background. Yeah.
Yeah, and because we're just talking, we're paying attention, but I'm watching a game or whatever. And so she had no idea like how much sports I watched. And so I remember like vividly one day she comes home. And so like it was in the fall. And so you had college football was in full swing, NFL was in full swing, the NBA had started, and also that means hockey, the NHL was going on too. And I think we were also at the point where like baseball was like postseason was going on. And so
Hmm.
for me, it's like Mecca. It's heaven. It's wonderful. It's the best time of year because you got everything going on. And for her, she's like, can we watch anything other than sports? And she likes sports, but not to that extent. And
Yeah.
so she comes home from work one day, and I'm studying, and I had hockey on, and I remember she walks in and she goes, you watch hockey too? Like, what is going on?"
Yeah.
And and she said, right now at this moment you have to give up a sport or I'm out of here. And so it was at that moment I'm like, all right, hockey, I'll see you later. Like, I liked it, but I didn't like you that much. um now Vegas has a team, and we've been to a couple games, and like we'll put it on the playoffs. But anyway, I guess the thing I've learned is like sports that literally dominated like my life, and just doing all sorts of like fantasy football or March Madness polls and different things like that. Now I'm like, I really don't care. I mean, I'll watch it and I enjoy the competition, but I just don't care. Like I have no idea who's in first place in baseball right now. Like I could name
Yeah.
you like two players on the Yankees. I have no idea who's who anymore. I just don't care.
Yeah. That's funny. I just remember like growing up, we'd have that we were I was texting you kind of about this the other day. Caitlin, the big dog that we had,
Oh yeah.
and it's like a big stuffed animal dog, not an actual dog, but we would put shirts on it based on the different seasons of
That's
sports.
right.
Like I remember we put like a Yankees shirt on
Yep.
it and like a
Yep.
UNLV shirt for UNLV football. Yeah, that was I was telling Brandon about that the other day. It's just so funny.
I forgot that we would put on the Yankees and the Rebels and the
Because it's
different
like
shirts.
the good luck
Yeah,
charm.
that's so funny. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I mean this might be a TMI thing here right now, but like I vividly remember so like during like used to absolutely love UNLV basketball, and it just they're terrible now, and so it kind of hurts my heart. But I remember like watching UNLV basketball, and I'm thinking like, okay, if I watch this game, then I'm not going to be able to get intimate with my wife tonight. And so I'm like battling in my mind of like, do I want
Which
to
is
watch
which,
the
yeah.
game? Like, if we don't do it tonight, am I going to be able to do it tomorrow? You know, like, and you're just like, now it's just like oh yeah, turn off the stupid game, dude. You go spend time with your wife, man. Like,
Yeah.
it's not even a question. Like, it's a, and the thing that's so funny about sports is like, as fans, we give so much to it, and like as a team, like they don't give anything back to you other than usually almost always disappointment on some way, shape, or form. They take
Yeah.
way too much of your time, way too much of your money. And so you're like, okay, yeah, I'll spend more time with my wife here. I'll turn off the basketball
Yeah.
game.
That's funny. For me, something that I was, like, thinking about kind of along this lines, I have, like, so many thoughts in my head right now, so I gotta try to get this come out straight. But, something that me and Brandon we were talking about these questions we were thinking about is how before you have kids, to me, it's like, okay, once you have kids, like, that's kind of it. Like, you're not gonna really go do anything fun. You're just gonna, you're taking care of kids now. That's your job. But I now that I have kids, I've realized that I can still go out and see my friends if I want to. I can still go to events or the other day we went to the rodeo and we just put the kids to bed later, but it's like there's a lot of things that I feel like I thought I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to skip out on this and this if I want to have kids, but it's like actually now I just bring my kids along with me, or like Brandon goes to something and I stay home with the kids, or I go to something and Brandon stays home with the kids. And so that's like that for me was something I was like, okay, once I have kids, I was like, "Oh my gosh, my life's gonna be over," but it's not over, you know?
Well, it's funny because like I've talked to a lot of people that when they have kids and I'll joke around kind of saying like, yeah, your life's going to be ruined or over, and in a way your life does end, right?
It's
That when
different for
yeah,
sure,
and
yeah.
that's what I come back to of like, it honestly it doesn't end it, and it enhances. And the stage you're in is challenging because it's physically demanding and it's exhaustive with like the nap times and the changing of the diapers and the trying to get somebody potty trained and they can't feed themselves, like all these things,
Yeah,
like it's just exhausting. But like you don't stop being you just because of a circumstance like that, right? I mean, if all of a
yeah,
sudden you lost your ability to walk, it's like, well, I guess I'm never going to leave the house again. It's like, no, you still do stuff. It's just different,
yeah,
and
the
that's
way
where,
that you do it is gonna be different, but it's not changing the overall outcome, I
yeah.
guess.
Yeah, and where I go back to is it's enhanced. Like you think of Christmas, right? Think of Christmas 3 years ago before you had any kids, and think of last Christmas, and how much more exciting. Like if you go look at Christmas lights 3 years ago, you're like, yeah, cool, that's really fun. Last year when we went to that house that has like the music synchronized with the
Yeah,
lights,
yeah.
that's off the hook exciting because Eliza's freaking out, and
Yeah, and
so
even, like, this coming up here, I can't wait for that too because Eliza's more understanding of, like, her surroundings even more than she was last year. Like, last year was so much more fun, but this coming year is gonna be even better. So it's just like I feel like there's a buildup of excitement, anticipation for all these things because they're so excited for these things too.
I was thinking about something today about, it's I'm kind of like life is like this where, it's, I think a lot of times we live either in the past or in the future, and it's hard to live where we are right now, right?
Mhm.
Because like right now, like, part of me is like, I'm living in 5 years from now where it's like, I cannot wait. I'm so excited to be an empty nester. Like, I can't
Mhm.
tell you how excited I am to have Ralph out of the house and Jonathan out of the house.
Yeah.
And maybe that means that like, I'm getting choked up here and I got something in my throat. But I think that means like maybe one of you guys will have to move back in. I don't know what that's going to mean, but I genuinely like, we had a couple weeks ago where the boys were gone. It was just me and Renee, and it was so much fun. And Jonathan was gone for a couple days this weekend, and it was just nice, just us and Ralph. It's different, but it's nice. And so but what I need to do is I need to enjoy today. You as a young mom, you need to make sure that you enjoy today, because if all you do is wish for when they're in school or when they can take care of themselves or when they can drive themselves or when they're out
Yeah.
of the house, then hot dog, you're going to miss a lot of fun opportunities that you're not going to have today. And then I think that also means that all you do is wish for yesterday of like, oh, I wish I could hold him again. Or and those are fun. Like those are fun things. Like I don't wish it for a second that you were back
Yeah.
to being 18-month-old Addison. Not in a
Yeah.
million years. Part of it's because you brought us now 18-month-old Eliza or whatever, however old she is now.
Mhm.
And so we, and that's what's fun is like it repeats itself in a fun cycle.
Yeah, I mean, I think you and JJ were kind of talking about this in your guys' podcast. Shout out Cats in the Cradle podcast. But like you're not I can't remember exactly what the quote is, and JJ may have or may not have butchered it a little bit, but something along the lines of like you're not working towards for the pursuit of happiness, or the happiness is the pursuit, where you are in the moment. That's what's is so rewarding, is living in the moment, being able to enjoy all these fun and exciting things with your kids and with your family. And if you're consistently looking towards, okay, one day this is gonna be how it is, and then eventually you're gonna look back and be like, man, like I kind of just like slept through all of those years. I screwed that up, and now
Yeah.
I regret not being able to, you know, have those moments with, your younger kids or whatever. But yeah, I really like that.
Yeah, I'm even continuing on that. Like I've counseled with a lot of people in my life, just in different facets. And I remember there's this one time there's this girl that I would talk to on a very regular basis, and she was depressed and so one of the things I said is like, well, what are you looking forward to in life? And she goes, nothing. I'm like, you don't have a vacation planned, you don't have a massage coming up, you don't have a movie that you're going to go see, like you don't have anything. She's like, I got nothing. And I said, look, I'm just going to tell you, sister, like you should always be looking forward to something because most of like think about this year, right? I mean, like you've done some fun vacations. Did the beach camping. You and Brandon have kind of gone on some things, or maybe it's just dates that you're going on, like celebrate a birthday or an
Yeah,
anniversary. But if you think of like, okay, there's 365 days a year. How many of those days are something that are like highlight worthy? Like if you got to 50,
hardly. Yeah.
right? If it was 50, that would be amazing, right?
Hmm.
And so you can't always be looking forward to, oh, I can't wait for the vacation. It has to be like, I'm just going to enjoy today. Like, I can't wait till I'm going to read a book with my grandkid. I can't wait till I'm going to lay
Yeah.
down and have pillow talk with my husband. Like, and so, or it even in that moment, like, right now I'm cooking while my kids are talking and jibber jabbing. And this is the moment that I've always wanted it to be. And so I'm going to enjoy right now. And so I mean, this has nothing to do with stuff in our 20s, but enjoying that moment is so crucial. And I think so many times we just let it pass us by.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Even now, like, there's times too where, guys, I know we talked about this a while ago, but I've been journaling a little bit here and there, which
Nice.
I feel very proud of myself. But like I go to write in my journal about whatever, whatever's been happening recently. And there's times where I'm like, oh man, like that was so fun. And that was like just the other day. But in the moment, I'm like, either super irritated or frustrated about something, and then I'm like, oh, I kind of skipped out on that opportunity to be more present or whatever. And it's like, even now I need to be, focusing
Yeah.
on what's the most important thing. So
Well,
I
so
don't know, it's hard.
today at church, our friend Jamie Smith, she was sharing this thing where, um, like this year's just been crazy busy where they started their own business and she's back working full time helping that business to succeed. And it's just busy because they got a kid who's had health issues and now she's off at college, and they got teenage boy and then they got younger boys, and it's exhausting. And so she was sharing like, she comes home and it's like they're just so exhausted, like they're just plopping into bed and just wanting to just be over with. And she's saying her prayers, and she said something to the effect of like, I cannot take one more thing. I just need to sleep right now. And in that very moment, her youngest son started throwing up. and
No,
and
oh my gosh.
and so I can just visualize like here I'm in bed, like finally the reprieve that I want, just sleep. And then the answer that she got was, get up, you got to take care of your kid. But what I love was the reaction that she had was she said she just started to laugh. She's like, I just started to laugh because what else could I do? I have to go take care of my son and clean up the mess. And
Yeah.
and so part of that's like in the moment, it's okay to be frustrated, but like, don't be always frustrated with life. Like, enjoy it,
Yeah,
even the hard things.
100%. There's so many things where, like, I can't remember. Oh, it was the time I think we talked about this in one of the early episodes potentially. I can't remember, but a time where Eliza literally had poop explosion out of her diaper and it's like all over the floor and she actually like ate some of
Yeah.
it because it was beans and she like I didn't know. She's like picking it up off the floor. I was like, "Oh,
So
okay,
gross.
where's the beans coming from?" But like in that moment, I just remember like me and Brandon are looking at each other and we're like, "What in the world is happening?" And I just like start dying laughing because it's like it's either you're gonna laugh, you're gonna
Or cry.
cry, or you're gonna be mad.
Yeah.
And it's like I mean, what's the best option out of those? You gotta
Yeah.
just laugh about it because it's like the most ridiculous thing. But yeah, I like there's so many times in life where it's like instead of sitting there, like even Brandon was talking about this the other day where it's like there's this lady who's completely oh my gosh, road raging at Brandon and
Nice.
Brandon's like sitting there just laughing his head off and I was like that's kind of rude, isn't it? He's like, well, it's either I'm going to laugh about it, I'm going to be mad about it, so I rather laugh about it. And it's like it's so true, you just got to laugh through life sometimes.
Look, I just got to tell you, this is a. I've been preaching this for a while. I feel like people in my church congregation, they have anger issues only on the road, and I don't know
Yeah.
what that's all about. Like, it's so interesting, but I can tell you, like, even before Tesla, like, I didn't road rage. Like, very, it'd be a very rare occasion. Like, my rule is if your blinkers on, then get over. I don't care. If you don't
Yeah.
have your blinker on, then like maybe I'll be nice.
Yeah.
But now that I have Tesla with full self drive, dude, I don't care. Like, road
Yeah,
rage
you're
doesn't
laid
exist.
back.
I'm
Yeah.
just like, whatever. I'm reading a book.
Driving
I don't
through
care.
the yeah. Watching some Instagram reels. That's funny. Okay, kind of jumping back to our questions, but what is something that society gets wrong? I have one that off of the top of my head that me and Brandon were kind of chatting about a little bit. But for me, like I guess kind of two things. One, there's a big stigma of like you can't or you shouldn't necessarily get married young or have kids young. And I think I did both of those things. I got married when I was 19 years old. I had kids, Eliza, when I was 20, about to turn 21. Like, so right from the beginning, everything we've done is completely against the grain of like what's normal, I guess. But it just is, I don't think that that's necessarily true that you need to spend your whole entire 20s like traveling and exploring the world, or, you know, setting up your financial future or whatever. I think that that could be a really good time to start your family, start having kids and doing all these things. And you can have kids and work on your future at the same time. Like you don't have to have one and the other. And yeah, like, I just feel like a lot of the time today, people are like, "Oh, if it's either one or the other, I can't have both," and I think that you can have both, or you also can make sacrifices and do things and, later on, but, like, this is the time to have kids is when you're younger and ready to play with them and everything. That's just what I'm thinking,
Yeah.
but
So, amen to everything you said. I'll tell you what, like, one of the things that literally breaks my heart is, so first of all, like, disclosure. Like, I know that there's some couples that all they want to do is have a baby, and for one reason or another, they're unable to. My heart goes out to you. I would say go see my wife for, she does acupuncture. That can help with fertility issues and things like that. But for the people that can have kids but choose to wait, now, look, a rule that I always had, like, I never, not once did I ever say to Renee, like, "Hey, we need to have a baby." I told her early on, it is your decision when and how many that we have. I'm always the willing participant. And there was never a time that I said to Renee, like, "I don't think we need to have another kid. I think we're done now." Like, after we had David, like, we were like, literally, we were like, "I think we're good." Like, we kind of, and then a couple years later, Renee's like, "I just have a feeling like we need to have another one." I was like, "Okay, like, I don't care." And then, Ralph, we're super helpful or thankful and grateful that he came along as well. And so, but at no point was it like, absolutely not. This is, how much this is going to cost. Like, to me, kids and the financial repercussions of them should never, ever, 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 like, never. You should never think like, are we going to have enough money to afford this? And the reason I say that is because, and I don't know if I've shared this before, but like when we were dating, Renee and I were dating. We went and visited her family in California, went and I met her grandfather. And, he was asking me like, hey, what are you studying? What do you want to do? Do you want to have kids? And I said, yeah, we'd love to have kids. With how expensive things are nowadays, and even thinking about that 25, 26 years ago,
I
like they're
know,
nowhere near as
literally.
expensive as they are now. But I said, with how expensive it is, like, man, just, makes me a little nervous. And he goes, let me tell you something, Josh, every kid brings their own bread. And I look, maybe that's a blessing that I have in my life that other people maybe will or will not have. But every kid, every time we had a kid, somehow things financially worked out. Um, for you, it was, it was a little stressful because like Renee had to stop working, our income got cut in half. But
Mhm.
like with all the other kids, I either got a new job or I got a raise. After we had Ralph, um, I was kind of waiting. I was like, all right, I'm gonna get a raise because we just had a kid. And then it didn't come. So I went into my boss and I said, this is probably like 2 months after he was born. I go, hey, I'm underpaid and I need a significant increase in my salary. And I got like a $10,000 or $15,000 increase in my wages. One, I was worth it. And two, I was probably underpaid for what I was doing. But it was just, to me, a blessing that we got was every time we had a kid, there'd be a reduction in some bill or whatever it was, like things always worked out. And so, um, uh, we, I don't want to like call people out, but there's some friends of ours recently got married and they have these like grand dreams of like, they're both going to be like these medical professionals in their life. And to me, it's like, kudos, good for you. Like, I don't want to tell anybody what they cannot accomplish what their dreams are. But my question is like, okay, if both of you guys are going to be like doctors and that kind of stuff, well, who and when are you going to have kids? Like, who's going to take care of them? And when are you going to do it? And how are you going to handle that? And do you really want to just give your kids to daycare? Because that seems terrible. And so anyway, on the lines of like, what do people get wrong? I would also say people get wrong thinking they have to have dual incomes. You don't.
Yeah.
You, you know,
Y yeah, I agree. I was like, me the each kid brings their own bread, like, that is driven me and Brandon every single time we've had a kid too, the same thing has happened, whether it's, like, Brandon finds a better job or he got a raise or, whatever, something like that, it's always helped us too, and I just go back to think about how amazing it is that we're able to do all these things, and we like, when we have these kids younger, now when we are retired and we have more money and our kids are out of the house by the time we're 40 years old, we're gonna have all this time in the world to go travel and do all of these things, like, that's like, we're poor and broke right now, but even if we didn't have kids, we'd still be poor and broke, and so it's like I'd rather have kids be poor and broke and trying to raise them while we are still poor and broke, and then when we are more established, we can go do our fine traveling. But yeah,
yeah, so I think that's a great one. To have kids, have lots of kids,
yeah.
and
And
it
they're
takes.
fun. It's
It's
so fun.
fun.
It's so fun having so many kids. Like, I mean, one day I hope to have more kids, but it's even now with my two crazy kids, they're 13 months apart. And there's so many times where I'm like, how are we even going to do this? It feels literally impossible. Why did we have two kids that are 13 months apart? That's crazy. But it's so fun. Like, there's so many times where I'm like, yeah, I would literally never trade this for anything in the world. I love it. And yeah, it's kids are a blessing, so
Yeah. So I can't. There might be another question that you'll ask here, but I'll just kind of jump into whatever the talking
yeah.
point I thought of. But so I remember when I think you were probably like 8 to 10 years old. Like, you were not even that old, but like you started having this just spunky streak, right? Right? Maybe some attitudes, and part of me was like ready to label you of like, she's gonna be a demon child,
Yeah.
which is like. And so I remember going to lunch with a buddy of mine, and like he was older, had kids that had already kind of gotten older and left the house a little bit. And I just remember asking him about it, like, how do you handle like parenting your kids and raising them and this and that and the other? And I kind of expressed some of my concerns, and he just kind of looked at me and laughed as if like I was the biggest idiot in the world. And he's like, Josh, she's 10 years old. Her program isn't done being written. Like it's gonna be okay. Just keep loving, keep guiding, keep teaching. It's gonna be okay. And it's so maybe a mistake I made was like I was ready to write you off like early on, like, oh, she's a terror.
Thanks, Dad. I'm
Yeah.
glad to
Like
know you. I'm done in your books.
fourth grade Addie, she's out.
I think that was probably me in 3rd grade, if I'm gonna be honest with you. It's
Could have
pretty
been.
it was a rough time.
It was the house off Alexander in
Yep.
Durango area. So yeah, you probably were third grade, and
I
I just
was
remember
3rd
being like,
grade.
just like, oh my gosh, like what are we gonna do? I don't know what to do with her. And it's just so funny. Like I worked with this guy, and he said something one time, and I think it's to me it's totally true. And he said nothing is ever as good or as bad as it seems. And part of that kind of sounds depressing, right? But it just isn't. Like your kid comes home with straight A's and you're like, yes, this is awesome. My kid's succeeding. And then you find out she's being bullied. And you're like, oh my gosh, this is the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
And then you find out that she kind of brings it
It's
on
pretty
herself because
rough.
she's a bully
Yeah.
too. And you're like, all right, like, I mean, it's like, I think when things come at you, like, rather, it's just good to just kind of take it and just like, well, let's see what this brings. Like, this could be
Yeah,
really cool. Or it could be really bad.
100%, like, thinking about the poop incident with Eliza too, it's like, it's at first, it seems like, "Oh my gosh, there's poop all over our carpet apartment floor," like, that's the worst thing that could ever happen in the apartment, but it's like, actually, whatever, you get the little carpet cleaner out, who cares? Clean it up, it'll be fine, but it's like, it's not the end of the world, you can just, laugh these things off, but
Well, I mean, like, I think a lot of people say we say this all the time, like, "Oh, this is the worst," and of course, it's hyperbolic speech. Like, it's not the
yes.
worst. It just feels like it's the worst because it's in that moment. But
It's a
it's like,
really crappy
yeah,
situation.
yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. Okay. Sorry, I'm just looking at these questions real quick, but what is something that you judged before understanding?
See, I don't know. Like, I'm always very judgmental in a way. So I think one of the things I was thinking about as I was looking through these kind of questions, trying to mentally prepare for it, was like in my 20s, everything was black and white. Like it was good and bad. I mean, it's just, this is how it is. And there's no other way about it. And so, like, I felt like part of me was judgmental maybe towards parents that would have teenagers that were rebellious or kids that were like wayward later on. And you're like, dude, so stupid. Like, I mean, obviously, as a parent, you play a role in the raising of your children, but I have no idea how big or small that is. I've seen parents that are completely absent-minded and terrible, and their children are amazing. And I've seen parents that are very much involved and they do everything, give their kids all these opportunities, and their kids turn out to be little crapheads. And so, I think like something I was judgmental towards was like parents are like, oh, well, Johnny over there is not doing so good. The
Yeah.
parents must not be footing the bill there. And I just, I think every parent needs grace because none of us know what we're doing and we're all doing the best that we can.
Yeah, that's kind of along the lines too of what I was thinking, like, I don't know, we're all new to this, like, there's no manual to raise a kid, there's also no manual on how to be a parent, like, you could do everything right and have the worst child ever, you could do everything wrong and have the best child ever, but it's like, I don't know, we all just need to give each other a little grace. I think this will probably be one of the last questions, but what's an opinion you hold today that younger you would hate?
I was thinking about this. I wish I kept journals because I know like being very opinionated with things. I guess today
Yeah,
I'm still somewhat opinionated and I'm
somewhat.
and I'm very willing to make that opinion shared. Um,
Good.
I wish I would have gone back and, I wish I could go back in some of those thoughts of, do you have one?
I have one for Brandon actually, because we were talking about this and I don't really know either, but Brandon was like, so probably, I don't know, 2 or so years ago, Brandon's biggest goal in life, he wanted to own his own business and like a construction business of some sort. And he's like, that is what I want to do. I don't want to have to be like working under somebody for the rest of my life. And like maybe that could still be something that happens, who knows? But today he was like, yeah, that's like the complete opposite of what I want, because if I'm starting out my own business, I'm gonna have to be away from my family longer. There's gonna be so many things that I'm gonna have to choose to miss out on because I'm trying to run and start up this whole business on my own. He's like, that is like the opposite of what I want right now. And so, for him at least, he's like, I know that if like my older self came to me and was like, yeah, that's not the worst idea ever. Like Brandon would be like, excuse me,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this. This is my dream. But now he's like, yeah, that's not something that I want to do. That, and then we were also talking about, um, like I don't know, there's like this idea of like, okay, we have to be established and have a home and it has to look like this, and this, and all these things. And it's like now that I have grown in the last 2 years, so not that long, but it's like I don't want to have to be worrying about all of these things. Like that is like the least of my problems. I just want to be able to make sure that I'm able to spend time with my family and have, fun times together, and that's what to me is important, not having, like, all of these grand things or starting up our own businesses, but making sure that we have time together as a family.
It's kind of funny I have an actual answer for your original question, but to kind of go off something you just said, like we spend all this time trying to build a nest egg of some sort so that we can then do things with our family. But then you think like, I'm doing almost all of this stuff without being by and with my family. So, it's funny, the corporate game, so to speak, that you play. Like
Yeah,
it's so annoying. And like I was guilty of it. Like after after we had a number of you kids, like I was back into the office pretty dang quickly. And it's like I specifically remember like David, like, you know, sh- you kids were young. I mean, David's 19, so you were like 4 years old. So you got a 4-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a newborn. And I'm like, all right, babe, I got to go to work. There's a big project I'm working on. And it's like, the irony is like, we find ourselves like this, like, I got to be loyal to my office and I got to put in the hours and get other stuff done. But if there's layoffs and they need to cut some salary, they don't care about you. You're a number at that
yeah,
point. And
yeah,
so it's
for
funny
sure.
how like loyalty to that is a one-way street almost always. And I'm not saying that like maybe like that, because I actually did have layoffs at one point, like during the Great Recession, and I was
Yeah,
thankful that I was able to keep my job there. Um, and maybe part of that came into play. I don't know, but I look at it like I think sometimes the things we give up in the name of I'm doing this for my family, when really your kid doesn't want you to work overtime. Your kid wants you to be at their ball game, or your kid just wants you to read them a book and put them to bed. That's really all that they want. So,
yeah, 100%,
um,
100%.
all right. So opinions. So I remember an opinion I have and really had until probably about a year ago, which was a fitness calculation. Where in my mind that if you wanted to lose weight or maintain weight, it was as simple as calories in, calories out, right? Like if you want to eat all those brownies and cookies, eat it. You're just gonna have to run
Then
more
go run a
miles.
mile, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm at a weird spot now, right? Like where I'm kind of having some body chemistry changes. And it's like I mean, I remember people saying, like, I look at a pizza and it just pastes itself onto my side.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah,
that's literally how I feel sometimes. I'm like, what the is going on here? Like
yeah,
I I'm watching what I eat now. I'm exercising. Maybe I just need to be more intentional and intense with that. But I'm like, what is going on? Like I feel like I can't get down. And then I'll have like a bad weekend where I'll have like 2 donuts and a cookie, and I'm like, okay, I just put on 5 pounds somehow. Like that was two
yeah.
donuts.
Like, you're like, "The donut didn't even weigh 5
Yeah,
pounds."
I
I
know.
just don't I don't get it.
I guess another opinion too, like I kind of talked about this at the beginning, but like if I would have told my 27-year-old self that hey, in 20 years, you will not care at all about sports, I would have been like, you're an absolute idiot. I don't even want to be that
Yeah.
person. And
Yeah.
I got, Andrew just asked me today, like, hey, do you want to be in a fantasy football league? And I said to him, I said, hey, look, if you need one more person to finish the league up, I'll be your guy. I'll get in there. But if you can find anybody else, let them have it.
Yeah.
I'm just not it. I don't care. I don't know. I don't even want to spend the time pretending to know. It's just not
Or
worth it
like,
to me.
yeah, spending time watching stuff. I just don't have time to do that in general. I mean, I've never been a sports person, so
But like one year we had the NFL direct ticket. And so along with that, you get a like they do a condensed version of every single game. And so you can watch a game in 30 minutes. And so, literally during the week, I'm watching an entire football game, and I'm watching 15 to 16 games in a week, so that I can know, okay, who's this, who's that, how are they doing? You're looking at all these
that's
stats.
crazy.
It's so stupid. And like here's a hot take. I used to do hot takes on my other podcast. If you wear a jersey of another man, that's just weird. Like like that's a
That's
Halloween costume.
hilarious. Yeah.
Like you see these guys like especially like you're a grown man and like you're wearing a college student's jersey, like that's even more bizarre. The kid's like half your age. Like come on, dude. It's not
Mm,
that big of a deal.
that's
Anyway.
so funny. Or paying like hundreds and hundreds of dollars to go to even thousands of dollars to go to these things. That's yeah,
Well
that's
yeah,
crazy.
we got I got tickets to go to the Golden Knights game in the finals.
Yeah.
And it was game I don't even remember which game. I think it was game 4.
Game yeah, game 4 or 5, I feel like, yeah.
Yeah. And anyway, it I think the tickets were like $2,000 each.
Yeah.
Now I
Yeah.
didn't pay for it. Thank goodness we had, somebody that took care of it for us. But
Yeah.
like I really like I was like, I should just sell this ticket. Like I'd rather
Yeah.
sell the ticket. Now I can't. You can't do that, but the thought crossed my mind.
Yeah. Lit That's so funny. Okay, well, before we end, did you have any joys from your week?
So for Mother's Day, which was a few months ago, I
Mhm.
gave my mother a gift where I gave her a card, and instead of a gift, I said, "Hey, I'll take you and Dad to dinner." And so
So the gift is
yesterday,
your presence.
basically, you're welcome. Um, and so yesterday was the day that we cashed that in. And so me and Renee and my parents, we went to a Grapevine Cafe in Las Vegas on Lake Mead in Buffalo. If you want to go there, it's pretty good.
Very nice.
And we just had a grand old time. Like it was just fun. The food was delicious. The company was great. It was a great time just to kind of sit there and to relax and to laugh and to reminisce and tell stories and hear what's going on in life. And
And
it was
how
just
many times do you get one time-ish with just grandma and grandpa? I mean, like, I
yeah.
feel like most of the time it's like you go over with the boys and it's like you
Nate and
don't
Amy will
really
be
get
there.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So I mean,
So that's super fun.
interesting enough, it really isn't too often that we go and have that type of time. So yeah, it was good.
That's awesome.
What about you?
Um, I I know so it was so fun because we went to a little story time at the park. The library does, like, story time at the park during the summer. Just still blazing hot. We've been
Oh my
having a
gosh.
major heat wave lately. No fun. But, it was just so fun. I got to go, and a lady from church, she was also there too, and so I got to hang out with her, and she has a daughter she's so cute, and she's Eliza's age, and so they were, like, going on the playground playing, and me and my friend, we were just chatting throughout the time, and it's just fun being able to get out and hang out with other moms, even if it's for just, like, 45 minutes. It's just fun to do that, so
I love it.
I think that's what I feel like we did other stuff this week, but I just can't even remember. It's been
Well,
a long week.
yeah, some of them are like that. I mean, like Ralph had more basketball games yesterday,
Yeah.
and I'm at the point now. So like I'm pretty. This might be hard to believe. I'm critical of my children, and I don't like try to hype them up too much, just because like I'm around you all the time. Like I don't Like you might
Yeah.
be really special to everybody else. To me, you're just my kid. You're number one of
Yeah.
five or whatever.
Mm.
Um, but I think Ralph's to the point that he might be pretty good at basketball. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
well, good thing he doesn't listen to this, so now he can't know that.
I
Just
know,
kidding.
but like the way been playing lately, he's in the past, he's always been kind of a role player on teams, and now he's the guy. And it's a new role that he's trying to adapt and fit in and figure out. But it's kind of fun to watch him, create
Yeah.
and start to do it. You're like, all right, dude, let's make this happen. Now, look,
I know,
I
hopefully
still
he
have
doesn't quit on it.
my hope is for him. Like I'm not that parent that thinks he's going to go to the NBA, but if he could make it and play high school basketball, if he could play varsity basketball, that would be epic.
Yeah, that would be super fun. That would be super fun. Well, that sounds like it's been a good week.
Good week.
I'm glad. Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I think that's it. You have anything else to add?
Addison, always a pleasure to talk to you. I
It's
actually feel
always a
bad.
pleasure.
Like I didn't talk to you very much this week, and I feel like I don't even know
I
what's going on in your world.
know.
So
I don't
I gotta
even
be
know what's going
better.
on either. So,
Well, hey, Renee and I are teaser for next week. Renee and I are going on an epic date next weekend. That's all the details you're gonna
I
get for now.
know. I'm excited for you guys.
It's gonna be fun.
It'll be fun. Alrighty. Well, we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.